Hi everybody, welcome to the channel for new battle report. I had the pleasure to play a first practice game with the new points. Played it against the Orc and Goblin, played by my teammate from ETC Switzerland, Dimitri. So nice for me to first of all test some new lists with the new points. And second of all, to play a practice game against Orc and Goblin. I don't have a lot of practice against new Orc and Goblin, so this was the occasion for me to test and also to show you a battle report and to help you get further knowledge about what are the new Orc and Goblin about, what are the lists that you might face, what are the combos, what are the things that you should be careful about, and so on. So I hope you will be able to learn a bit more about this army book with this battle report. And I will try to do more in advance. So this was the list I played for this battle report. So basically I kept the Master Occultist, but I decided to try it Lugar, not play it anymore on Ashuruk. I wanted to try out a more mobile mage. Then I picked Lamassu Scholar. As I told you in the last video, I wanted to bring more magic buff, so I brought him with a Dragon Staff to give him a breast weapon, so it's a small monster that can be a small threat, but at the same time give good magic. Support magic. Then I have a BSB. A new build that I find very interesting for him is with the Breast of the Brazen Bull. I think this item will be seen a lot on different characters of the ID because it got an attractive price right now. I think on the BSB we can get some nice setup. Here I decided to go with Willow Ward Alchemist Alloy Shield to get a 1-up. I picked the Spear and I paid the Mask of the Ages to get a conditional ward save and blunderbuss for him. Then in core I decided to go with double Infernal Warrior blunderbuss. So basically now that the blunderbuss is a bit cheaper, I think it makes the big unit of warrior or bigger unit of warrior with blunderbuss and no bastion playable. So I wanted to try that out, so I picked 32 of them with Great Weapon, Blunderbuss, Flaming Standard and a full command. I kept 20 Blunderbuss with Shield, with a Bastion and a Legend Standard, so my old unit more or less, only 20 of them, which is not a lot. A single unit of Slave, because if I pick 2 then I'm more than core, and I wanted to have at least more than 30 warriors, because I think less would be a problem. Then the Bastion. I picked 6 Anointed this time, so I wanted to try out this unit instead of the Lugar, Disciple of Lugar, just to compare. I like this unit a lot. In the past I've had good experience with them in various configurations, so I wanted to try them out. I also picked a smaller unit, 3 of them, which I think are always a good threat, a mobile threat, not so expensive. Then instead of the second Kadim Titan, I picked 6 Incarnate, which are very attractive price-wise right now, and I picked the Fighty Titan instead of the Shooty Titan. He got a price decrease, and the Shooty Titan got a price increase, so I decided to try that out. So I'm a bit more blocky than before. I lost the Overlord, I have better magic, and yeah, a bit more threat, a bit more blocks than before. My opponent was playing the following list, so he's playing Goblin, General, and no, sorry, the General is a Shaman Orc with Shamanism in the book. Then he was playing a Master Thaumaturgy with Binding Scroll and the Totemic Summon as a bounce spell, which is crazy good for 530. Then he had the Demagogue, which is BSB. On both of them are on the mobile mount, so the Beastie, which is like a horse. Then in core he has 2 blocks, a block of 35 Veteran Orc with Spear and a Ban of Speed. Then he had a big block of 40 Feral Orc. As you can see, they are really, really cheap. They have this special weapon rule where they have a weapon on the first round of combat. They have, I think, a spear and a paired weapon, if I'm not mistaken, and a shield. They can pick one of these, but after the first round of combat, they lose it. So they are really expendable, really cheap for what you pay. So I love the unit, but they are frenzy. They have some weaknesses as well, which is normal for the price you pay. Then a small unit of Reavers scoring to host the 2 main characters of the army. 26 Iron Orc with a Stalker Standard, 2 Green Idol, a Giant, 2 Orc Chariot and 2 Gnasher unit. So a lot of small threats, aka Chaff Countercharger, 3 main block and an additional scoring. Plenty of units that he can use as chaff as well. Those Gnashers, those Green Idols, I mean plenty of things that he can threaten and move up the table. So it's going to be very interesting. And basically his range damage is around Master Thaumaturgy with the Shamanism Adept as well. So trying to do some moons from distance and then to open the game with the Gnashers, with the Green Idol and so on. We played randomly secret target on Encircle spell selection. I pick 1, 2, 5 and 6 from Occultism, and then Hereditary Rod of Aaron from the Lamassu, and he gave me +1 channel, which basically leaves me with 3 spell interesting in close combat. This one can also be interesting in distance. The breast weapon is interesting both in combat and distance, and then 2 range damage spells. So very well balanced. Magic Face like it a lot. And his Demagogue had 1, 2, 4, 5 from Thaumaturgy, the Bound Totemic Summon. Then he had 1 and 2 from Shamanism. And also, I forgot to mention here, he had 2 times the Hereditary from the Great Green Idol, which is amazing because it gives a +2 or -2 on the charge, roll, pursue, and so on. And basically, having it 2 times in the bond spell is really nice because you can try to cast it 2 times. So it's really good. He has a lot of spells. As you can see, it's total of 5, 7, 8, 9 spells. So amazing Magic Face here, both from range and in close combat. Matchup analysis. So a lot of flesh in this Orc and Goblin list. He has a lot of bodies. Might need to shoot them, trim them down before engaging in close combat. My 2 core blocks should be able to resist his solo charges, which is good for me. It's what I want from my core block, that they are able to move up the table, be charged, and then I need to organize counter charge. That's up to me. Kadim family are my prime answer to Idol and Chariot. The great range damage output expected from both magic. I have Occultism, has Thaumaturgy, the 2 most powerful law with magic missiles. My estimation was slightly positive. Deployment wise, so I won the roll for side, and I took the big center, I gave him an impassable, and I placed my second target in a way that's very, very hard to reach for him. Because as you can see, his scoring unit is a mage bunker and 3 big blocks. So good luck to reach this point of the map with the impassable with blocks. It's basically very, very hard. So I figured that should be nice. He placed it somewhere in the middle, more or less a bit more than 24, like 30 something, but still quite close. And he elected to deploy for first turn because we knew where the game was going to be played. He placed, as you can see, most of his single model on the right side with the 2 Chariot, the 2 Idols, and a Giant, and a Gnasher unit, so all flexible unit around impassable. And then he dedicated all his strong scoring unit towards the middle one. So he placed, as you can see, you have the Iron Orc, you have this one is Feral Orc, this one is Veteran with the General in it. Here you have the Bunker for the Mage and the BSB, and the second Gnasher unit. Here, worth mentioning on the secondary objective, he could have also placed it here, tried to place it, yeah, somewhere more to the left, could have been possible, but he wanted to play compact, which I get. My counter deployment. So first of all, I try to counter what the small target around the house and think about what I want to do for secondary objectives. So I felt on the right, I want the Kadim Titan, which is an amazing answer to the Green Idol, first of all, but also to the Chariot and the Giant. Those fights in the 1-on-1, I should be able to win them, even if I get charged, should be fine. Then I placed the Incarnate facing the Idol, which is good counter, and also where the Chariot are. So I kept in mind what I had in my game analysis. Then I needed the scoring unit to win it on the right, and I didn't want to commit too much point. I debated whether or not I should place the big block of blunderbuss on the right, but then I felt facing 3 big infantry units with a small unit. What would 3 anointed do on the left part of the map, of the center part of the map? Pretty much nothing. They cannot engage any of those blocks alone, so nothing to do. On the right, I felt they have double purpose. First of all, they can score the secondary, and second of all, I mean, if they get the charge, they can kill a Giant, they can kill Chariot. They can kill Gnashers, so I felt they have something to do on the right. Place the Lamaster behind. Bastion is here with the Mage Occultism, the General. Here I have the BSB within the second block of Infernal Warrior. Here we have the Slave, and on the far left I have my 6 Anointed Pad Weapon Flaming Standard unit. Let's start his turn 1. He pushed up the map, especially the Giant on the right side. As you can see, try to bait me to charge. So this Giant, because of the Chariot, get a great weapon in combat. So he baited me to charge. It's an easy charge, and basically he gave me that if I don't get through him, he's within 15 of his BSB, so he has 15-inch BSB, and basically he gets minimize rerollables. So it just tells me if you don't do enough, if you charge me, you don't do enough, then you get charged by Gnasher, Chariot. Basically that's it. This one a bit longer, but still threat of triple combo charge. So that's his idea. But in exchange for that, I can charge and get the overrun here. Middle size overrun. So he tried to tempt me with multiple bait. We'll see what I do. Gnasher go through the house. The Mage Bunker a bit forward to blast me. move behind the wall with the speed banner unit that was able to do it in 1 turn because of the speed banner, and the rest on right respect a bit the anointed what they can do, because they can do huge damage to this unit. We both figure out that one unit between those two that's going to get the charge is the one that's going to destroy the other one. That was a bit our assumption. In Magic Phase, I dispel Totemic Summon. He gets +2 movement on the charge range of this brick, which I felt not a huge issue because it's facing those two units where I'm going to be steadfast if he charge me. Just need to be a bit careful with the Incarnate, basically. Magic Phase, I also dispelled the Wrath of God then. I think it was a big card, the biggest one, the card 8, and I was able to do 2 dice on the small totemic and then 5 dice on the Wrath of God against his 4 dice, I guess. Let's move on to my turn 1. So I took the charge with the Titan. I felt it's an easy charge. I've took the math. He didn't cast any buff on the giant. He can use maybe the Binding Scroll to avoid me getting reroll to wound, but I should be able to get something. And I still figure out I have a charge, I have a rod save, a lot of attack before him. I mean, I should be able to win it by a bit, and then the overrun, it's only a 7. So if I get that, I'm in very good shape. If I don't get that, I can still reform to the right, I get double charge, okay, but then I have counter charge set up in place. So I felt it's a trade-off of resources in the worst case. In the best case, I can get an advantage on the right flank that should be put me on the upfront for the secondary objective. So I took that. I think here what he could have done is just not give me the overrun. Basically angle a bit different to not give me the overrun, and that's already a bit more. I need to think a bit more about the charge. I'm not sure I would have taken the charge without the overrun, probably not, I guess. I would have maybe placed in front of the giant or something like that, but I think I wouldn't have taken the charge without these overruns. That was maybe a bit too much. Hereditary, he elected, it's too early for the Binding Scroll, so I was able to get Hereditary here to get reroll to wound, so now I'm pretty sure that I should be able to get through him. I got then a brass weapon on myself, kill 3 Gnashes here, start to trim them down for the eventual counter charge. Close combat, so I managed to do 6 wounds to him, almost one-shot him. He struck back and did 3 wounds to me. And he has a check on a -4, which is very hard. It's like a 4 minimize. And he failed that, he break off the board, so all of them are fearless, so no issue. I have an overrun on a 7 and I roll a 5, so I'm just end up in front of the chariot, which is a bit sad. His turn 2, he elected not to activate the warg and missed that charge by 1 inch, so would have got in. He got the Gnasher instead and the chariot, so he double charged me. I have 4 wounds left. We'll see if I can survive that. I have some counter charger in place, so I think no matter what happens, I can send something. Here, also worth mentioning about this charge. Now the problem is he has huge trouble because this model is a fearless model. Meaning here I have a charge, I think on a 10 with both units onto the chariot with overrun in the flank, which is very problematic. And yeah, that was a bit the issue. Whole is game opening units, Great Green Idol, Gnashes and Chariot are all fearless. And that's a bit of an issue sometimes when you attempt this type of charges that can put you in trouble. So he had to move around. As you can see, it's a huge traffic jam in the back. He needed to move in a way to avoid me getting an overrun into the mage bunker. So very problematic for him to get the perfect solution. And this has the downsides for him that the idol that you would want in the front line are all the way in the back, a bit in traffic jam situation. He pushed forward with the Feral Orc, tried to open the left flank. I think he recognized that it might get tricky in the middle of the map. He need to get some spell to resolve the situation. And on the right, I mean, it's very undecided. Everything can happen. And on the left flank, he need to open to try to get an advantage on this secondary objective to balance the game. In Magic Phase, he get -2 movement on the Incarnate, so he doesn't want that charge from the Incarnate, so it moves from a 10 Swift Ride to a 12 Swift Ride on the Chariot, which I get because it would be a disaster if the Incarnate gets in and then in this flank. Then I dispel the -1 Resilience on my Kadim Titan with my 6 dice against his 4 dice, so again 4 dice in Thaumaturgy, no problem, and he get +1 Strength on the Gnashers, but it's less a problem than the -1 Resilience. In the close combat, I get 2 ward save off against the Gnasher attack. And then I made a mistake with my splitting of attack. I elected to do The grind attack against the chariot, who has a very good armor save, and all my attack against the gnashers, plus the stomp, obviously. I think it was the wrong choice. What would have been the right choice, and he also, Dim did something smart. He elected to pick the paired weapon to strike before me, try to kill me. By doing that, he motivated me to attack against the gnasher. I think I wouldn't have done the mistake if he elected to take great weapon. Then it would have been easy for me to say, okay, let's kill the chariot, stomp them, and pursue that way, and it's perfect. But I didn't do it. I felt, okay, if he can strike, then let's make sure I kill the gnashers and do as many wounds as I can to break him and so on. I think the right choice is 100% I need to secure that I kill the chariot. Because if I kill the gnasher, it's nice, but then if I need to pursue the chariot off the board here this way, it's very annoying. I might lose some time. Whether I would like to reform or go that way where the fight are. Obviously, I can go off the board, come in, threaten the backline. Why not? I mean, I can do stuff. It's not that bad, but if I can act, it's my turn next, basically. So if I can get the charge and get rid of the chariot, it's huge. So I think the right choice would have been put 4 attack to the chariot at least. 2 attack, the remaining attack, 1 or 2 to the gnashers, the stomp to the gnashers. Maybe even all attack to the chariot, we can debate about that, and then the grind obviously against the chariot. What I did is grind the chariot, I roll max, and I one-shot him. So I was very lucky, I was saved by luck, and then I one-shot the gnasher as well, so I was able to post-combat pivot. So here, yeah, lucky on the chariot, I make the wrong choice, I wasn't punished from them, for them. My turn, no, I get a free pivot, so I charge the chariot with overrun to the flank here. So this gets very interesting for me because this allows me to push heavily on the right flank. So we'll see how that goes. I have 3 wounds left. As you can see, the chariot did 1 wound to me. That's fine. So I push heavily. On the left flank, I'm able to keep the stalemate. So I don't want the charge of the feral or anything into the anointed right now. I don't want him to charge my slave right now. I elected not to chaff. I could have. I felt I'm in a decent enough situation to not use chaff, because the only charge that I gave him that he might do is to charge into my blunderbuss here that reform 5 wide, so I'm sure to be steadfast, and I have made sure that the bastion is able to countercharge, and the anointed as well, and the slave, just in case. So I have so many countercharge set up that I felt nothing can chaff the anointed. I felt I don't need to chaff him right now. So we will see if it was the right choice or not. What I did is bring all my blunderbuss, so it's 30 shots in range of this unit. So they are going to get a bit trimmed down, like I mentioned in the beginning. Okay, let's move on to the magic phase. Kalim Titan was a charge on a 5 Swift Stride, by the way, which he makes. He binding scroll the +2 armor save because he realized this chariot might have a chance to hold. And if he does, he has some opportunities because I did one mistake. Is not leave enough space between the Incarnate and the Titan to be able to reform. Maybe if I move sideways, maybe. What I should have done is just move the Incarnate a bit less to make sure that Titan, if it goes wrong, I can slide a bit the Titan to make sure I just chaff those guys. I should have made that sure. So I think here I was a bit over optimistic, and we will see if I'm punished against that. So I binding scroll +2 armor save. Hereditary, I tried to dispel with... Did he get hereditary? Yeah, I failed to dispel something. I think it was hereditary on... I don't remember on what, to be honest. I got... Oh no, that was... Oh, sorry. I get that. It's my turn. So hereditary, I tried to cast it with 3 dice on the chariot to say, okay, let's make sure the Kalim Titan get through the chariot. So 3 dicing hereditary. The second spell that I had in mind was the breast weapon, so it's 2 spells that can increase my range damage output and make sure I get through the chariot. So hereditary 3 dice, need a 6, fail the cast, and then I try breast weapon, got this spell I think, and I got +1 ward save on the Titan, so at least that's that. Blunderbuss, 30 shot, kill 7 feral orcs, which is nice. Close combat, I managed to do 3 wounds, so he's still alive, he's able to strike. He managed to do 2 wounds back, so I almost died. I passed no ward save, I guess. And he failed a 5 rollable check, meaning he fled off the board. I think I had maybe a panic check on them, which he passed, and the other 3 are fearless or banner of discipline, so they were nice, they were fine. And I got the small overrun on 3 inch with 1 wound remaining. I managed to stick them, which was the plan. I just should have taken a bit more safe approach. His turn 3, so he elected to charge and chaff with the Great Green Idol, my Bastion. So basically I have only one counter charge setup. He used the Warg. He tried to charge on double 6 with the Iron Orc on those guys, which I stand, and he failed that charge. So now I have a debate. I need to choose, do I want to counter charge here or charge into the Iron Orc? We will see how that goes. Push the Gnasher forward, moves a bit here. He elected to counter charge me with the Great Green Idol to augment the chance that he can get rid of the Kadim Titan, because if I survive this round, it's a nightmare for him, because then the Incarnate are going to go in, those guys can go in as well, can do huge damage here. He's able to chaff me the Bastion with the Great Green Idol, and also I think those guys as well. Yeah, I cannot charge into this combat. So we'll see how that goes, going to be very interesting. In the magic phase, he got, on the stand and shoot, I killed one more Feral Orc, by the way. And they got a charge on a 6 and suffer no wounds this time from DT. I dispel +1 strength onto the Veteran Orc in combat with Kadim Titan. He gets -1 resilience on my Titan. Nothing I can do. And then what happened to the close combat? So this one, the Idol is going to strike first. And elected, I think, yeah, we strike same time. Sorry, we strike same time. I elected to put the grind on the Idol. I did 2 wounds, I guess, and the rest on the unit. I kill, I think, only 1 or 2 guy, and then he killed me with his attacks. So the Titan is dead, but did an amazing job by killing the Gnashers, a Giant, and the 2 Chariots. So that was amazing, plus chaffing those guys. So that's really amazing. This close combat here, I managed to do 3 wounds to him. He managed to do 5 wounds to me, and I passed the 9 rollable check. So we'll see how goes my turn. I elected, as you can see here, we managed to reform, but he wasn't able with the reform to chaff either he wasn't able to chaff the Anointed. Which basically those guys are now a bit less scary because they don't have any weapon anymore. So he still reform wide, I reform wider as well, and I figure out I will be able to kill them this round. I mean, I still strike on 3 ranks, I still have the brass weapon on the BSB, so I still have good chances of breaking him. I elected not to use the brass weapon on the first round of combat, which we can debate. I did 3 wounds, he did 5. He had the charge, and I think he still get the ranks from something. I think, yeah, something with the Idol, maybe he gets the ranks. So he still had the ranks and the banner. I have 1 more rank than him. And he had a charge, so I lose by 3. So yeah, the Toxic Breath might not do more than 3. So I think I was right to not use it, but this one could be an option to use it. So I reform 8 wide. I charge with my Anointed into the Iron Orc. Very excited about this combat. He has no buffs on him, so we'll see how that goes. I elected not to charge with the Incarnate on them. Here what I measure out. If I move the Bastion in front of him, and the Lamassu exactly in this position, I'm able to get the Lamassu within 18 of the Iron Orc. The Idol cannot charge the Lamassu. The Idol can only charge the Bastion. And even if the Idol charge the Bastion, the way he's reformed with his Veteran Orc is chaffed. So I felt that's amazing because I don't even need to chaff him. I don't even need to charge. So I just move a bit sideways, reform those guys, no position to charge. And I cover the positioning of the Idol coming here, close to me. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so that was it. What I didn't identify at this point of time, I didn't know. I knew that you lose your flaming attack if you are yourself in the lake. What I didn't know, if you're attacking someone with the majority of the footprint of the unit inside the lake, you also use your flaming attack, which I didn't know at the time. So I tried to do a complicated setup to get reroll to wound here, but I'm not going to get it, no matter what. In a magic phase, I 5 dice plus 2 armor save on the Anointed. I figure out it's worth it. Lamassu is only worth 300 points, and with plus 2 armor save, he has a counter charge with the Gnashers on my flank, so plus 2 armor save would make sure that I can hold the counter charge no problem at all, and also get a reroll to wound on somebody. So I figure out, yeah, that's a great spell to try to 5 dice it. He managed to dispel me with 5 dice as well, and then I realized that I cannot get flaming attack, so I just got a ward save spell on the small unit here fighting. I figure out, yeah, ward save spell on them, just make sure I break those guys even without using the Toxic Breath. So that was perfect. What happened to the close combat? So close combat here, I managed to do 18 wounds to his 4 wounds, so I won by a lot. He broke, it was auto break, and I pursue and catch him. So perfect, but I didn't pursue a lot. I ended up here in the front, so I don't get any flank charge on them. Could have been crazy, and if I get a high roll here, could have been a nice position to force him to chaff me no matter what. He's going to charge, yeah, no, it's his round, so he's going to chaff me no matter what. So what I'm saying doesn't matter at all, actually. But yeah, I just catch this unit, so that's job done. Very happy, didn't suffer too many wounds. And on the left, I kill a good amount of them, but I don't get reroll to wound. I don't have any buffs off, so it's basically 3+3+, plus the impact hit, plus the stomp. I managed to do good work. He killed only 1 of my anointed, but I kill a good amount of them. Like the 2 full ranks plus a couple of guys had like a bit more than 2 ranks left, maybe. He's still steadfast, but non-rerollable due to the guys that died, and he failed that steadfast check on the 8. I think minimized but non-rollable. What I figured out as well is the order of the combat that I did was a mistake. I should have done first, I think I did first this one and then after this one, and I should have done the opposite. If I would have done this one first, then it doesn't get +1 attack with the guy here in the first rank striking with wet weapon. So it's -6 attack, which matter a lot in this combat, a bit less in this one. So I should have done the opposite here. But I didn't know that. I thought it works for the entire round of combat, of the combat phase, which is not the case. It's really at the point when you are striking, is another orc unit still in combat or not? So I made it the wrong way. Those guys fail steadfast, they flee, and I'm swift stride, I catch them. So great operation here in close combat, getting a huge advantage. He's turn 4. He chaffs, yeah, we see my overrun. Yeah, he charged with the gnashers onto my lamassu. I elected to flee. He redirect onto the great weapon guy, plays his green idol in a position to chaff me afterwards, no matter what. Move the idol sideways, move those guys bits here, and didn't move much with the guys behind the wall. In the magic phase, he gets hereditary -2 movement on my incarnate because they got, again, 10 charge on the flank of the idol, which he didn't want to. Which makes sense. Close combat, I killed those gnashers. I think all of them. I can't do much with the post-combat pivot. He did really well. My turn 4. And I'm getting a strong position. I move those guys 5 wide in a position that only this idol can get into combat. This one cannot move past. No way he can get 2 idol against the small brick of Infernal Warrior, which is perfect. Then I elected to chaff the veteran with my Bastion in a position that I can blast the idol. I move those guys around to be out of arc of the idol, but still in a position to threaten everything, basically. I moved those guys to the flank, those guys in the front, and the lamassu rallied before that. So I managed, first of all, a post-combat pivot. I managed to do in a formation that the BSB was able to be within 12 of the lamassu, which allowed me to rally the lamassu with a rerollable 9, which was perfect. So the lamassu rallied. In magic phase, I fail mark for them on the idol. I get +1 armor save, I think, on the Bastion unit. Or no, I got +1 armor save on those guys and put the attribute on them. No, I put +1 armor save on the Bastion, I think. And the attribute on the idol. In case he engaged the warrior, I can get the flaming banner off. Yes, to get reroll to wound. And then I got a breast weapon on myself against the Great Green Idol, and I managed to do all remaining wounds. I think he has 5 or 6 wounds, I don't remember, but I killed the idol. And that's basically the end of the game, because now he hasn't enough resources to chaff every of my threats. So we elected to stop here because it's a training game, doesn't matter to play any longer. We know that's going to be very complicated right now for the Orc and Goblin. So what can we say about the game? Post-game analysis, yeah, I felt I had the right matchup in the deployment. The Cadim Titan, huge performance on the right flank. I could have done some better plays, sorry. I put here the detail, I already talked about enough. But as you can see, I should have done a bit better micro management, micro positioning at some point to even be more secure in case, because here, basically I plan, if everything works according to most likely stat, we should say, on the, like two-thirds of the case, it's what it should have happened. But I didn't plan enough if I fluff what happened afterwards. And I should have planned that a bit more, to have a plan B. I didn't plan enough with plan B. Traffic jam situation with Orc and Goblin. I think I had some struggle with his lists, big blocks, huge footprint. The amount of unit was huge as well, very complicated to move around. Also, due to the fact that he had so many fearless units. I mean, all the game opening units were fearless. And as you saw, the failed charge of the chariot put him in huge trouble afterwards. That caused a lot of trouble for him in the backline. So he's probably going to change a bit the list. Yeah, regarding my list, also, yeah, worth mentioning in the micro, the strong result from the Anointed despite the lack of buff. Unlucky, non-rollable steadfast for him. But yeah, I had no buff, no... I think the mage was not placed well enough. I should have put my level 4 in the middle of the map, in the big brick of warriors. And from them, I could have buffed the Anointed. And then, if I get any buff on them, then there is no stress at all. Here I was a bit lucky to get through. I think, even with the counter charge on the Gnashers, I wasn't in big trouble. I think I would still be in a position to at least hold the fight. I mean, they're on 4 ups, so even with their... How many attacks do they have? Let's count quickly. It's 5 in the front, so it's 10-15, I guess. 4 ups, so it's like 7.5, 3, as you can see. So maybe... And I have a 6 up, so maybe 3 wounds they get. I can still attack on them and on the Iron Orcs, so I think I would have still be here, but in a bit more trouble. I should have secured it with a buff. I didn't like that much Incarnate. Yeah, the mobility is still a big problem for me. I know they are good, they are better. I think for the price you pay, they are good. But it's still not so to my taste. The Idol could have been more in the first line. I think avoiding... I probably wouldn't have deployed the both Idol in the same part of the map because I know where my Kadim should be. I would have tried to put one a bit more like center left to be able to push forward with this Idol. In between the 2 left block, basically, the Iron Orc and the Fur Orc, I would have placed, I think, an Idol here to be able to push with that one. They were, for me, activated too late in the game. So guys, that's it for this battle report. I hope you liked it. Nice battle, very funny. Some change that I'm going to do on the list, but I enjoyed some part of the list. It was really fun. I had some luck. I think luck was on my side in this battle report, in this battle. So let's keep that in mind and try to play better next time and try to optimize even more my risk management and also be ready for when things don't go as planned. I think that's always something you need to keep in mind in your strategy, basically to be ready to have a plan A, B and C. Something I definitely didn't do that well in this game. Thanks for watching and talk to you soon on my channel. Bye everybody.